Well, in the summer of 2014, that was a very happy summer for me because I came back to China, to my hometown, Harbin, and to see my parents and most importantly to see my aunts. Harbin is a city in northeast of China, so we normally, very cold, but when the summertime is the best because it's full of sunshine, it's not too hot. So that's why I decided to go back in the summer. And also that was the first time to go to my aunt's new apartment. It's the other side of the city. You have to cross the river, cross the Songhua River. So yeah, I've been there first time and I really loved it. It's a really bright apartment, even though it's not so big, but it's actually very cozy. And there's one thing I really like about her apartment, which was the bookshelf. She have a huge bookshelf, full of books in psychology, philosophy, religions, and things like that. So yeah, I stayed there for I think 4 or 5 days with her. And when she was at home, we start, the fancy little chats. It can be anything. We talk about what happened in the past few years in the city, what's new, what's going on, because everything got real quick. And also, we talk about something else. We talk about philosophy and also Freud, Sigmund Freud. And she was also, introducing the idea, for example, ID, ego, super ego from Freud that day. And for me, that was wonderful, to be honest, because I love to hear all this knowledge, in psychology or, things like that. So yeah, when she was at home, we chat, we talk. And when she's going to work, I stay in her house alone with the books. And I remember that was the last day in my stay in her place. I remember I found a book in the corner of the shelf. It's a really dark corner. And there's a name just catching my eyes. And the name is called the Enneagrams of Personalities. And I was like, what is that? It's not, definitely not sounds familiar to me in my life. So I took it and start to read it. But to my surprise, when I just opened it, I found something really, actually ridiculous. There was a test in the beginning of the book, okay? And they say you have to do the test first and then, read a book. If you didn't do the test, please don't read. So yes, I have to do it. But that was a test of 108 questions. So yeah, because I have this curiosity, I want to know what is it. And I know it's gonna be boring, but still, I finished it. It's I don't know how long it took me, half an hour, 20 minutes, but it felt longer than that. And after I finished the test and I have a quick look of the answer, which is like they have 9 numbers and each number is a personality. So in the end, I realized the top three of my personalities are number 4, number 8 and number 6. So I was like, all right, so I am 486. What that means? What does it mean, 486? So I have to find exactly, the number, in the book, and start to read about it. In the end, I realized that number 4 is like my main personality, and it's actually it's a personality really sensitive, and like I said, it's called artist. Obviously, this person normally who have number 4 feel more things in life, and they are more sensitive, they are more creative, and sometimes they are, normal people feel like 5 and they feel 50 and things like that. It's like a dramatic a little bit personality. And then number 8 is like a person really do stuff like, let's do it, let's control it, let's protect it. It's like a protector. And then number 6 is a person who like always question everything. It's like a person never believes in such real stuff, and they always question, is it real, or is it correct, or things like that. So yeah, I have 4, 8 and 6 and 3 personalities. And I was like, all right, so what is it, what is it for? How can I use it? And again, suddenly, like I said, my aunt and I, we were talking about Freud, his famous theory, the ID, super ego, and ego, the system. And I realized that's interesting because that's a match. For example, my number 4, personality number 4, it's like my ID, which is like a child inside, and very sensitive, sometimes naive, and very emotional at the same time. It's just like a childish version of me. And then number 8 is just like, because this childish, naive little girl need protection when we live in the society. So the number 8 is like a protector of number 4. It's just like super ego, which is the society forces us to have another personality. And then number 6, that's the most interesting thing, because I think that's the hidden part or potential part inside of me, like an old wise man or something like that. So yeah, that was a click, and a very interesting click. I got this match by accident, but it was the most important accident I had in my life, because that's the first system that I have in my life, which helped me to heal and helped me to getting better. And I call this system is called triangle system. Okay, I know it's not. It sounds really boring, I know, but it's actually very functional, and let's talk about it. So first of all, in order to understand this system, there's a few things you need to do in the beginning. Just like what I did in my aunt's place. You need to do a test, just like what I did. And you can find a test of Enneagram online, and also in the books, and also, you know, there's so many places they have the tests. And normally the better tests, they normally have around 100 questions until 150, 180 questions. Don't do this question just have 20 or 30. They don't cover all the, you know, the topic. So you better have the like more than 100 questions one. But there's one thing you need to be aware, because the other day I was helping my friend. She also want to try to do the test, and then we find something online, like a test online. And then she was, you know, trying to tick all the questions until finish. We realized that she have to pay. So try to get a free version or buy a book or whatever, but also you can pay. But at least be aware there are free versions and also paid versions, and just don't do the same like my friend. Okay? And then when you actually finish the test, there's two things you need to do, which is read all your personalities, because normally you will get a result. You probably have 9 personalities, and don't be scared. We're human beings. We have all parts of human beings. That's normal. But only pick top 3 of your personalities, and they will tell you which is your top 3. And then read carefully with each personality why you have this personality, because normally there is something to do with your childhood experience. And also, what does this personality look like? Does it look like you? Does it sound like you or not? So this is the first step. Do the test and read the personality descriptions. Okay, and then the second step, which is to find the match. And here, let's use A, B, C. So if you have a paper right now or later, whatever, you can put down on the paper, on the left-hand side, you put it A, B, and C. Okay, and the right hand side you put your top 3 personalities. For example, for me, I am 6, 8, and a 4. Well, also you can say 4, 8, 6, whatever. It doesn't matter about the order, because we need to find the match in between the left and the right. So how to make the match? It's also very simple. A on the left hand side is actually represent, like Freud said, ID, which is the inner child, like the childhood, or you know, this little boy or little girl inside of you, and that's A. And to find the match on the right hand side, you just need to think about your childhood. Which one does it feel, you know, more like your childhood than the numbers, and then just make the match, connect it together. Okay, and then for B is like more like a personality forced, you know, by society, which is, like Freud said, is super ego. Because sometimes when I grew up, we had been educated, we had made mistake, we had noticed that some behaviors, some ideas are not supported or not accepted by the society. So day by day, we actually having a new personality coming, which is superego, which is B. Okay, so to choose from this one, choose B, or connect B to the numbers, you need to do is think about the personality of you right now, the present. Which number is more like you this moment? in the present. And then make the match. Connect it. That's it. And for C, obviously it's ego, which is Freud said ego. For me, I would like to say that's the old wise man or old wise woman inside of you. And this is very important because most of people, sometimes we don't feel it because we are young or because we don't feel, this part yet. But still, it's actually, the hiding intelligence inside of you. So if you already choose the A and the B and connect it with the numbers, then the last one is C, and that's it. Simple and easy. So now you have connected A, B, C and with your numbers, and that's it. That's the second step. That's the match. And then the third step, that's the most easy one in all the 3 steps, which is to draw a triangle. That's easy. Don't tell me that's not easy. Okay? To draw a triangle. Okay? And when you have the triangle on the left hand side part, you can put your A and also the number that you have for A. Like A and the number. For me, in my case, that will be before, number 4. A and number 4. And then B, which is like the society personality, which is for me is number 8. You can put your number on the right hand side. And then on the top of the triangle, you can put something like C. And also the last number of you. Yeah. And that's it. So this is the triangle system. It's very simple, it's very easy, but you don't understand, right? Don't worry. This is the base of triangle system, because this triangle is you. And later, well, in the next videos, we're gonna explore more about this triangle with all the system. Well, let's say in the next 24 videos, we talk about this triangle. Okay, so don't be panic and enjoy the reading of your personality, and let's see how it goes. But one thing I want to mention, because last time we already talked about healing wasn't an easy journey. It's not something that you just treat yourself really well, a 1 day, 2 day, a good vacation on the beach. No, it's not enough. It's actually, for me, healing is like rebuilding. Imagine if we are a building, and it's normal, a building, sometimes they need to be rebuilt or reformed. And sometimes when the structure was broken, the first thing we need to do is not drinking beer in a pub. We need to fix the structure. And this triangle is your structure of the building. Dearest me, do you remember the 3 castles we were talking about last time? I'm so glad that you are on your journey of seeking. Before we begin to find those 3 keys, there is something you need to know. Where they came from, and the story behind them. So if you don't mind, please allow me to tell you a story. Once upon a time, in a land far away, there stood a castle that had been built together with the land itself. The people who lived within it led calm, simple lives, untouched by the outside world. One day, however, the continent was suddenly connected to another land. Bridges were built, and with them came invaders. For the first time, the people of the castle felt a fear they had never known before. Driven by the fear, some of them decided to build a new castle at the point where the bridges met their homeland. A larger, stronger castle with greater defenses. The second castle finally allowed them to breathe again, but it also forced them into a life of constant inspection and vigilance. Day after day, over time, the people living in the second castle grew tired and longed to return to the free, simple and peaceful life they once knew. In search of the real freedom, some of them chose to build a third castle, taller than the others, so they could see further into the distance. Yet, when the third castle was completed, they realized that the keys to all three castles had been lost. Trapped inside the very castles they had built, separate from their families and friends, the people fell into endless sorrow. And as their grief spread, the entire continent began to wither and sink into darkness. What they needed was not another castle, but to find the key within their own castles, open our three gates, and allow the land to breathe again. So here is the story of three keys. And maybe you had already noticed that the three castles are castle of past, castle of present, and a castle of future, and which now we can call them castle A, castle B, and castle C, because they are not only represent us along the vertical timeline, but also across our horizon inner parts. And each inner part is extremely important, because healing happens when all parts are allowed to heal. And inside of each person on this planet, we all have a land for ourselves. We all need to repair, rebuild, and reconnect these three castles at some point of life to keep this land alive and vivid. Therefore, I'm so glad to see you are already on this journey, and I will stay with you as we enter each castle together, searching for the keys. So my dearest me, there's no need to be afraid, no need to be tense. There is the warmest hug waiting for you, as always. Just follow your own rhythm and your breath, and let us explore the castles together. Yours sincerely,